guys, Work here, welcome back to the bench. Today we've got our P10C back in front of us, and the reason is because if you remember in the installation video of our new Suarez Trigger, we had some issues with it. We had to modify it, and the fit was a little bit tight, giving us a little bit heavier trigger pull than the original trigger pull that we were looking at. The current trigger pull on my P10C is right at 6 pounds. So what we're going to do today is we're going to replace this with one of our reworked triggers that we got from Suarez. Suarez did send me these as T&E units, and when I informed them that we may have some issues, they looked into their stock and they found out that they did have issues, so they started cleaning them up, they reworked them, and now this is one of the reworked triggers. If you guys remember, our original hole in our triggers were around 0.136 inches. The pin in my P10C was around 0.137, giving us 1/1000th of an inch of interference. Not great. The new hole is at 0.142. This is a significantly better sized piece than the one that we were originally given. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and pull this one out. We're going to put this one in, see if it changes the trigger pull weight at all, and see if it cleans up our trigger pull. The trigger pull with this one is a very nice and very smooth pull. I absolutely love the trigger pull profile, but since Suarez did send me these, I owe it to them to go ahead and swap them in and see if these new ones are any better than the old one. Let's go ahead and do this. First thing we need to do is go ahead and take down our P10C. We're going to pull the trigger, pull back slightly on the side, about 1/4 of an inch, pull down on our tabs here, and push forward. Slide is going to come directly off. I'm going to blast through most of this since you guys can see all of these steps in the original video. I'll post a link to that right around here. In the meantime, I'll see you when we get back with the new trigger. Okay, so here's the new trigger, and that is significantly better. Check this out. That is free floating on there, which is exactly how it's supposed to fit, not how tight this one is. So we're going to have to probably clean this one up a little bit more before reinstalling it. We'll go ahead and toss that one over there, and let's go ahead and put this thing back together. Okay, so I will say one big thing is once you know what you're doing with this, this is a really quick process. It's still not Glock fast, but it is significantly quicker the more often you do this. So let's go ahead and toss our slide back on and see what our trigger pull feels like now. Okay, reset. Okay. Trigger pull feels nice and tight and predictable. Reset is still nice and crisp. Let's go ahead and check our trigger pull, and I can already tell you it is lower than it was. So let's go ahead and yank this thing, and we are now down just over 5 pounds. So there we go. That is the newer fixed Suarez trigger. The trigger pull itself, the profile is identical to the other one. Feel is the same as the other one. And now that Suarez has kind of fine-tuned that size for that roll pin, we should be good to go. The Suarez units are all shipping out with that sized hole now, rather than the smaller hole that was in the old ones. So any triggers that you guys are getting now should be being received with those bigger holes. Now, along with that, Suarez also gave me this guy. This is their striker for the P10C. I'm not 100% sure what it gives us as of now. Let me break this thing down and let's take a look at our striker base first of all, and what and the shapes that we're looking at. And it does look like the new striker is a square ledge, maybe? I'm not 100% sure, but I tell you what, we're gonna find out. Just not today. If you're interested in this Suarez striker, keep an eye out because we will be doing an install on this eventually, as well as a review of it. I do have a review upcoming of the Suarez trigger in this. I've gotten a lot of trigger time in with my old one. Plan on getting a lot of trigger time in with this new one before we can get that review out to you guys. And we've got some giveaways coming up. So if any of that sounds good to you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. I'd appreciate it a lot if you guys gave this video a big thumbs up. Those thumbs up and any comments that you leave down below really help us in the YouTube algorithm to bump us up closer to the top so that we can get a little bit more exposure. Remember guys, I appreciate every one of you, and until next time, do your research, get informed, and get to work.